competition. In the meantime, Rob Becker joins us. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Rob oversees all of our athletic facilities and frankly does just about everything for BW Athletics. I feel like you're the most involved person for the Yellow Jacket Athletic Department. And before I answer any or ask you any questions, really grateful for the involvement that you have in all of our programs and all of our facilities. I think one of the things that people most notice when they first come on our campus is that BW has first-class facilities for Division III schools. The turf looks good, the floors look good, things are painted, it's clean, it's fresh. It's pretty important when you're trying to make an impression on recruits to have facilities that people want to compete in, and I think you have a big hand in that.
Yeah, thank you. It's, the coaches obviously are the reason we do it, so it helps them with recruiting. But that 2 years of COVID was tough, right? Like trying to make it. We had people in the stands that were cardboard cutouts. Just something to keep that atmosphere alive. So it's been good, and it's fun. It does. It looks great. It makes the playing much better, right? The surface is great. Look good, feel good, play good, but also when you're in a place that takes care of it. So it's been good.
I think maybe the most notable change for me in the last couple of years is the new curtain inside. It adds such a different look and feel to volleyball and wrestling and obviously basketball games. What was the planning process like to get a curtain that had, frankly, a logo that's that big on it?
Right. So that, was probably 24, 25 years old. And when we started talking about it, it was tore. It needed done. Everybody used to cut through.
I was going to say there's conveniently a door that's in it now.
Yeah, so there's a door in there. We worked with the coaches and the athletic staff on it to see what made sense and not having something in the shooter's eye, right, for basketball, and worked with University Relations to come up with the actual right font logo. But it was something that we talked about, and that banner is the exact same material that the LeBron James banner that was downtown Cleveland.
How fun.
Same company did that out of, I want to say it's either Toledo or Sandusky. So it's been good. Having the door has been a lifesaver.
Oh, I bet. That's awfully cool. I did not know that about the material. Love that. There's a lot going on right now in Yellow Jacket Athletics on the varsity athletics side, but I think maybe people aren't quite aware of all of the opportunities that exist and, frankly, the success that some of the recreational sports, the intramurals, are having. Why don't we start on the racquetball side? I mean, geez, if you walk into the rec center, it hits you right away how many national championships the racquetball teams have, and I know that that level of success has continued.
Yeah, so it's we took a hiatus there for 2 years. They basically shut all racquetball down, being close proximity indoor sport. So recruit-wise, we've got 10, 12 student athletes that are playing. 2 weeks ago, we had our men's and women's teams travel out to Phoenix to play in the Collegiate USA Racquetball Championships, and we walked away with two of our members from the women's team, Faith Malik and Julia Stein, that were All-American status. So they have a kind of combination of how many matches you win in that tournament to get you that All-American status, but Faith finished first in her level, and then her and Julia finished first, I believe, in doubles. So awesome. It was good to at least get back on the wagon.
Back to the winning ways for
right.
Sure. How about on the esports side? I know some folks are probably not aware of the fact that as a college student you can compete in esports. I think maybe people know that there are plenty of kids or people that get paid to play video games that people will watch them play on YouTube, and that's obviously a growing thing. But there is a market for that right now, kids that are playing more and more video games, and we're launching a program at BW.
Yeah, so we've had a club that's been competing for a while. Obviously recreational, come as you will, but they've had probably 15, 18 students that have been a part of that. It's a whole new world for me.
Probably for most of us.
Yeah, these students, it's not like they dabble in 3, 4, 5, 6 different titles. That's one title they like to play, and they compete at it, and it's strategy, and it's, everybody thinks NBA 2K and Madden and stuff, but these are a lot of strategy type games. So it's good. So universities decided to make a commitment to it. We've got a search currently right now in the process for assistant director that will oversee esports. and they're going to work with admissions. Obviously, the number of schools in Ohio, let alone just Northeast Ohio,
Sure.
that have competitive high school esports teams, it just continually grows and grows and grows. So if we can, give our students here that are already on campus an outlet for something they like to do and have a little bit more structure to it, but also go out and recruit some additional students to, help with our numbers and work with admissions and get them here, it's a win-win.
It's funny how technology's changed to the point where, you think back, I know in age-wise we're not that far apart. When I was a kid, my mom used to say, hey, go outside and play, and you play video games for an hour or whatever it is.
Right.
And now it's all the kids that played video games are flying drones halfway across the world in the Air Force or whatever
Right.
it might be. There's more to it than just the gaming aspect.
There is. There's a strategy, and through this whole, last week of interviews and the committee, there's a few gamers on the committee, and then there's, administrators that have never picked up a, game system.
Sure.
And there's actually, workout, exercise, nutrition, like some of that stuff's still involved
Sure.
with it. And we don't think of it because the stigma has always been, drink Mountain Dew, eat Doritos, stay up late. And that's really not the case. It is in some sense, but when it comes to the team stuff, it's, practice after school just like a varsity sport would be. But it's interesting. So
No doubt about that. Beyond the recreational side, well, I guess I don't want to neglect the women's rugby team either, because they've had a really nice season, and I know they fell just short of an automatic bid to the national tournament, but I'd love for you to talk a bit about them.
Yeah, so, last year that was probably the first big thing that we started doing back out of COVID. Outside sport, right, like doing the testing, so we were able to get going through it. And they qualified last year for nationals, and they won their bracket of the Contenders Cup down in New Orleans Memorial Day weekend. So coming into it this year, like we thought things would be pretty good. They had a 15 season in the fall, and then their 7 season currently. Went into this past weekend's tournament and lost in sudden overtime in the championship match. So they were right there at it, and there's a good group of young women that we had. We've had a couple that have went on and played in like an all-star tournament previously. We've got a couple that are graduating this year, but for the most part, we'll have another team back again next year, and coaches will be recruiting. And I think their last competition is actually a home tournament that we have every year. It's a men's and women's rugby. It's the Stinger Cup inside Finney Stadium, so they get to play on a great surface as well.
Ton of fun. It'll be really cool to watch. Beyond the extracurriculars, the intramurals and things like that, I know you've got a ton of involvement with the Brown and Gold Club. And for folks that don't know, that is the charitable arm for Yellow Jacket Athletics. The Brown and Gold Club are a huge reason why we are able to support and push forward Yellow Jacket varsity athletics. And I know we're coming upon the time of year coming up here in a little less than a month, May 4th, with the big reverse raffle, and I know that's a huge event for you guys.
Yeah, it's May 14th.
I'm sorry,
yep,
May 14th.
We talked about this
Saturday,
earlier.
May 14th.
So this is the 50th year of the reverse raffle. It was supposed to be 2 years ago. That got put on a little bit of hiatus. So the 50th year, it's a big thing, right? It's going to be inside the rec center in the field house. So it gives all those athletes a place to come back to that they've been at. They were a student. They can look at the Hall of Fame cases. They can see where they played, competed, practiced, team meetings. But it's good to get the athletes back, but it's also good to get friends and family, the supporters. We have numerous people that come back that didn't even play, right? Like they come back because their friends are coming back, or it's a spouse or a family member or somebody's in the area traveling. So it's we roughly have about 175 to 200 attendees show up. Right now we've got about 75 tickets left. There's 200 tickets available, so 75's left, and it's a time just to get together to raise fund for BW Athletics, cherish those memories that you had, reconnect, right? And it's about a 4-hour kind of party, and then hopefully we get them re-engaged throughout the summer. Let them know about the golf tournaments and the other fundraisers that teams have, and then that money obviously goes into the fund to where coaches and programs can request for certain things that they'd like to add to their program.
So for folks that maybe can't make it on May 14th but want to be a part of this or want to buy a raffle ticket or somehow support or sponsor teams, how can they help?
Right, so www.bw.edu/events, and then it'll pop up. But you can purchase a raffle ticket. It's $100. If you want to be able to come, or you want to put a name of a table in somebody's memory or honor, you can do that as well as a sponsorship. And then that grand prize, usually what's happened is we'll get down to the final 2 or 3, and at that time we'll ask that group, do you want to stay in or do you want to split the pot? And that pot's a $5,000 payout. So it's good. We've got sideboards, 50-50, other little games that people can participate in. So they can go online and purchase those, or they can reach out to BW Athletics as well.
Hopefully that'll be a really fun day. And what time is the event?
It's from 6 to 10.
6 to 10 p.m. and it's in the gymnasium?
In the field house.
In the field house.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So easy enough for people to get to on campus. You've been around BW for a long time, and you've obviously got your hands in a lot of different things, and we are certainly grateful for that. But why is BW a special place to you?
Well, I think it all started when I stepped on campus in 2000, right, as a student athlete, playing football and working in the rec center and helping in athletics in the summertime and facilities, and was able to graduate in my 4 years and get out and make memories, and knowing that I don't necessarily think that I thought I would ever come back, but there came that opportunity. And for those that obviously don't know, it's kind of hard to get into BW, right? People stay for a long time, and alumni always come back. And when the opportunity came up, I jumped at it and decided that it's time for me to give back to the students that people gave to me. Sure. And mold you for that 4 years that you have, and some of your best friends and lifelong friendships. And obviously there's still a few people here in athletics that were here when I was here, and there's still some across campus. So it's good to be back, that family community atmosphere, and it's neat to see too that you can have your hand in certain things and help affect change in the right way. So.
What are some of the fun memories that you like to reflect back on, whether it's from your playing days or just from being a student? Do things like, homecoming or any of the events in the fall that draw people to campus, to any of that, bring back memories of 10, 15, 20 years ago?
Right. So probably the one that resonates with me the most would be April Rain, because it's in the spring, right? And
Sure.
We just had that this past week. In the fall, you don't really notice what goes on. You're working, you're at football practice, you're at games. I mean, it's just a vicious cycle, right?
Right.
Thank you.
It's been a big week for Rob Becker here for the Yellow Jackets. All right. We're still good. Want to make sure that we're continuing our live stream here as we get ready for Nicole Shoger, our head women's lacrosse coach.